0145, and in Germany 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106 at live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have two ears and one mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story. 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 We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
I saw my land in the morning, and oh, but she was fair. The hills flamed upwards, corning death and failure here. I saw through the mists of the morning a wave like a sea set free, faith to the dawn returning, dark tide, bright unity. I saw my friends in the morning, they called from an equal gate, build now whilst time is burning, forward before it's late. The old gods awake, past and future break, on as the voices roll, move as a single whole. Forward, 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 O country, to your goal.
Independence, and everyone is happy. So I will now tell the story, and please listen carefully. And we called up a referendum for you to make your own decision. So the people voted wisely, now everyone is happy that there's no more federation. Now independence is good for the young and the old, also for me and you. Yes, independence is great for the whole population, including your children too. So I believe that if we try our best, it will be a great success. So let us live in unity for progress and prosperity. Let's go! Independent Jamaica. He went up to England to seek for independence, and although Buster was late, he still attended the conference. Although from two different parties, it was very good to see how these two politicians were shaking hands when they gained victory. Now independence is good for the young and the old, also for me and you. Yes, independence is great for the whole population, including your children too. So I believe that if we try our best, it will be a great success. So let us live in unity for progress and prosperity. Swing it, Daddy. These two men came from England. They came the very same day on two different planes that stopped at Montego Bay. They separated back down to Kingston, but still we are very clean. For they got independence, so let's rejoice to be the first in the West Indies. Now independence is good for the young and the old, also for me and you. Yes, independence is great for the whole population, including your children too. So I believe that if we try our best, it will be a great success. So let us live in unity for progress and prosperity. Sing it, Daddy. In Jamaica, let's go.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 12th day of the 7th month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Put another way, it's the 12th day of the second month of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season, and Jamaica's Weather Service is reporting that there's a high-pressure ridge and low-level jet stream across the central Caribbean. Both the ridge and low-level jet stream are expected to remain across the region through to Wednesday. Thereafter, a trough will move into the vicinity of the island. Additionally, a plume of Saharan dust is expected to move across the region today through to Thursday. And the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, tells us that a couple of weak low-pressure systems embedded along a surface trough are producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms over the northern Gulf of Mexico, with some of that activity now spreading inland over the Florida Panhandle. The surface trough is expected to meander near the northern Gulf Coast through the end of the week, but gradual development will only be possible if it remains over water during that time. Regardless of development, heavy rains will pose a risk of flash flooding along portions of the northern Gulf Coast from Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle over the next several days. And our National Meteorological Service here in Jamaica is telling us to expect possible isolated showers across western parishes for the rest of this afternoon. Elsewhere, partly cloudy, hazy, and windy. Tonight, mainly fair and hazy, windy along coastal areas. And there's a tropical wave moving across the south central Atlantic. So that's the situation weather-wise. Let's proceed with our usual introduction to your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM in the United States. July is still being observed as Cord Blood Awareness Month, Healthy Vision Month, International Group B Strep Throat Awareness Month, Juvenile Arthritis Awareness Month, National Cleft and Craniofacial Awareness and Prevention Month, Sarcoma Awareness Month, and UV Safety Awareness Month. Es aniversario Puerto Maldonado en Peru, Battle of Boyne or Orange Men's Day in Canada, Ireland and the UK, Independence Day in Kiribati and Sao Tome Principe, Micronesian Day in Micronesia, and Petrodan in Serbia and Bosnia-Herzegovina. Hoy es martes el 12 de julio 2022 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones, y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continua para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
On two different planes that stopped at Montego Bay. They separated back down to Kingston, but still we are very clean. But they got independence, so let's rejoice to be the first in the West Indies. Now independence is good for the young and the old, also for...
C'est mardi le 12 juillet 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme allant de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
For you to make your own decision. So the people voted wisely, now everyone is happy that there's no more federation.
All we're saying is it's Tuesday, the 12th of July, 2022, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices, and that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Was very good to see how these two politicians were shaking hands when they gained victory. Now independence is good for the young and the old, also for me and you. Yes, independence is great for the whole population, including your children too. So I believe that if we try our best, it will be a great success. So let us live in unity for progress and prosperity. Swing it, Daddy. These two men came from England. They came the very same day on two different planes that stopped at Montego Bay. They separated back down to Kingston, but still we are very clean. But they got independence, so let's rejoice to be the first in the West Indies. Now independence is good for the young and the old.
Walk into Marjan's Pharmacy and you will feel better. The service is clearly different. Marjan's Pharmacy, call 876-703-6335. The time by Marjan's Pharmacy is 2:15. National Irrigation Commission customers, you can now pay your bills online using your Visa credit card, MasterCard or MCB key card by visiting the website www.nicjamaica.com. Select Pay Your Bill option, then follow the instructions, or visit any one of their office locations and pay using your debit card. The National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Under the law helps you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. We've been doing it for 50 years, and that's right. The program brought to you on Wednesdays by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy. Under the law at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 and 9:55 p.m. Wednesdays on Power 106 FM.
Need to check your blood pressure and sugar levels and have your prescriptions filled? Come to Lanell Town Pharmacy and have it done. We accept all major health insurance. Open 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. Sundays and public holidays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Lanell Town Pharmacy, Shop 1, Bustamante Avenue, Lanell Town, Clarendon. Call 876-986-3304. Lanell Town Pharmacy, helping you to get well and stay well.
independence. And although Buster was late, he still attended the conference. Although from two different parties, it was very good to see how these two politicians were shaking hands when they gained victory. Now independence is good for the young and the old, also for me and you.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you can download from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We thank you if you've logged on to the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to both sides of the story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. We welcome those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-359-8281, 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, there's always YouTube, and that's wide open. You don't need an account in order to access YouTube. All you need is a smart device or a not so smart device like a smartphone, tablet, computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. You're going to need not just connection, but connectivity. And one way to test whether there is in fact connectivity on your device is to open a browser like Google Chrome, for example. And by the time you start typing YouTube, the box will populate. And if you're doing that now, you should see this video trending. If not, then in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and that should take you to the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. What's on your mind this afternoon? We're anxious to hear from you. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. As usual, we like to bring you up to speed with some of the developing stories as carried by our media family, our fellow members of the RGR Gleaner Communications Group, the Gleaner itself. And so we usually take you to the Jamaica-Gleaner website to share with you some of the stories trending, just in case you've been too busy to follow what's been happening since this morning. And we hope to keep you abreast accordingly. And so what do we have here? JPS warns customers against scam. The Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, is warning customers to be on the lookout for scammers. The utility company says unscrupulous people have been sending messages on WhatsApp and on social media platforms promising $30,000 if this message says the Jamaica Public Service Company is not from them, it is not from the JPS, and in fact, it is a scam. The Light and Power Company says it is not sending any messages via WhatsApp or social spaces promising monies for clicking on links. JPS is advising people to check with the company for confirmation of any promotions being held from time to time. Now, if we keep this up, we're going to become the scamming capital of the world. That's not the kind of label we would want in our 60th year of independence now, is it? So we need to call out those who are engaged in this kind of unscrupulous behavior. We have enough of a bad name already in so many areas, notwithstanding our good name in others. Right, let's see now who else. The other stories. Gale title defense set for last minute decision. And this is a matter of touch and go, it seems. But we wish him well. World champion long jumper Tajay Gale says it will be a game time decision on whether he will defend his title at the 2022 World Athletic Championships in Eugene, Oregon. Gale was among the contingent of Jamaican athletes that arrived in Eugene on Monday night for the Games, which will start this Friday. Tajay Gale suffered an injury during the long jump final at the J3A's National Senior and Junior Championships on June 25, and therefore was unable to continue the competition. Gale only returned to training last Friday. I'm still unsure about everything, he says. It is still swelling. The compression on the flight to Eugene would have swollen up more. Ouch. Well, we trust that he will get all the help and support he needs, if it is at all humanly possible for him to successfully compete. The men's long jump qualification round is scheduled for Friday evening at 8 Jamaica time, which should feature Tajay Gale and national long jump champion, who will be making his senior championship debut. We wish him well. We wish all our athletes well. And of course, we have to pause to salute the reggae girls. Well done. Well done, young ladies. Well done. We're proud of you. And we want to wish you all the best. Thank you for once again creating history, qualifying for the second World Cup football for women for the second time in a row. Well done, reggae girls. Well done. Also making the news, appointment for criminal record goes online. Corporate area pickup relocated. So technology at work. The story is starting today. People who applied for criminal records must now collect the documents at the police officers club on Hope Road in St. Andrew. That's next door, the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center, the Lou and Ranny complex. And collections will be allowed between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. No collections will be done at the downtown Kingston office. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, says the change forms part of its transformation thrust. The changes will begin at the Kingston office for the first phase and will be rolled out to the other locations over time. As part of the move, manual appointments for criminal records have been discontinued and the process of setting a date has moved online. So how does the appointment system work for those looking to get one of those, to get clearance in terms of their record with the law. After paying the requisite fee at the Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ office, people must now visit the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF website, which is www.jcf.gov.jm, to set an appointment. And there is a link, there's a live link that you can click on this story that we're sharing from the Gleaners website. The online process requires a digital photograph, pictures of the TAJ receipt, that's the Tax Administration Jamaica receipt, and pictures of a valid government-issued ID. After completing the online application process, you will receive an email with instructions on the next steps to take. People will be required to print the application form in color and take it along with the photo that was uploaded to the website on the day of their appointment. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is advising those who made a manual application and were given a date after the 25th of July 2022 that they must reapply online to schedule their appointment and receive a new date and time. Appointment dates prior to the 25th will be honored. So that's the new Police Criminal Records Office operations and how members of the public will from henceforth engage the members of the team in the Criminal Records Office. Government exploring sargassum utilization project. That's one of the stories, one of the recurrent stories. We've heard that one before because it's not the first time that we have sargassum washed up on our beaches and on our shorelines. UK monkeypox cases rise to 1,735, with most cases in London. Also, Japanese say final goodbye to assassinated former leader Shinzo Abe. And perhaps one of the few leaders in the world to have a word created or coined from his name. In this case, Abenomics. If you check your dictionary, preferably the Oxford, since we're talking about English, if you check the Oxford dictionary, you will find a word Abenomics, Abenomics. Abenomics. It is a plural noun, but it's treated as singular. The economic policies of the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, associated with monetary and fiscal stimulus and economic reforms.
So I believe that if we try our best.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now 2:30. Importers, shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration, known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Need heavy equipment for rent, such as excavator with bucket and hammer front end loader, backhoe, roller, crane, forklift,
dump trucks, and flatbed trailers? Contact P&D Williams Heavy Equipment. We sell 4, 6, and 8-inch blocks, colored bricks and pavers, concrete pumps, water and submersible pumps, compressors, concrete for decking, and foundation casting. P&D Williams Heavy Equipment, Savannah District, Hayes, Clarendon.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program. Both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. And one last story before we break away from the stories. Colleagues of Inspector Enroy Maduri, who was found dead in his car at his gate, are in disbelief. Maduri had what appeared to be gunshot wounds. His colleagues said he did not turn up for duty on Monday, or when he did not turn up for duty on Monday, his being killed was not on their minds. He lived in the Whitewater community on the outskirts of Spanish Town in St. Catherine. Deputy Superintendent Elaine Steer said the Maduri should have manned the night shift, which began at 6 p.m., but it was not to be. Condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, neighbors of the deceased. So those are some of the stories doing the rounds, in particular as recorded by the Gleaners website, Jamaica-Gleaner.com, Jamaica-Gleaner.com. And you can read on your own the other stories that are listed. Good afternoon to Cherry Henry. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Blessed Tuesday to you too, Cherry Henry. Thank you very much. Jamalian Lewis says, definitely we don't want to be the capital of such negativity. And that's in reference to scamming. Sharon Richard says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm and all listeners out there. I greet you well as we all give thanks for life. Thanks that we can sit in class another day. Lots of blessings to you all. And to you too, Sharon Richards. Thank you very much for your message. James in East London has sent us the usual collection of stories coming out of the United Kingdom. Tory leadership hopefuls go head-to-head at first TV debate on Sunday. And that's the race to replace Boris Johnson. British woman, 64, facing the death penalty in Pakistan for ordering the murder of her husband. Claims police beat her every day in a bid to force a confession out of her. Oh dear. Baby P's evil mum pictured walking streets for the first time since prison release. That's from Opera News official. Woman who gave birth in Jamaica stranded. That's the same story that's in today's papers. Sir Mo Farah will face no action from the Home Office after he revealed he was illegally trafficked into the UK as a child. The Olympic champion, 39, told how his real name is actually Hussein Abdi Kaheen as he bravely opened up about his childhood. Sir Mo revealed he was given the name Mohammed Farah by those who flew him over from Djibouti when he was aged 9. No, that is the stuff of which movies are made. I'm sure they're going to make a movie from this. That's remarkable. And all this time, we're just getting this bit of information. What a thing. Also, James in East London has shared with us the story that Boris Johnson must not abuse his power and give his old pal, Where's the rest of this story? Well, you can always read on in the interest of time. So, yeah, those are some of the stories trending in the UK, shared with us as usual by James in East London. And you can Google and find some of those stories. Also, let's just go through some of the others that have been popping up. Lots of messages on WhatsApp. Let's see. Hello to Royal Ruler Brown and the team at Palace Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. So in 12 days, they will make a donation for 2022 Palace scholarships, or they are encouraging more of us to contribute, essentially. They're encouraging more of us to contribute towards Palace Peace and Love Academic Scholarship. They have 12 days, they're telling us, Royal Ruler Brown and his team of volunteers, that they have 12 days remaining, or those of us who wish to contribute, we have 12 days remaining to make a donation for 2022 Palace Scholarship. And the donations can be made via Zelle, Zelle, payable to Palace, Palas, and email peaceandlovescholarship@gmail.com, peaceandlovescholarship@gmail.com. There's also Cash App payable to $Palace1 or online via PayPal at www.palace and the number 1, that's the digit 1.org, www.palace the number 1.org. And if you ever doubt the work that Palace has been doing, they have awarded 806 scholarships in the past 12 years. 806 scholarships in the past 12 years, valued at approximately 675,000 US dollars. That's 88 million Jamaican dollars. So that's where your money goes when you support Peace and Love Academic Scholarship, Palace. You can Google Palace for more information. Hello to Angelia Christian, who is still celebrating after her successful staging of the Afro-Caribbean Expo held in Tottenham. Happy to know it went well, Angel. Thanks for the update. That's another diaspora organization that continues to do outstanding work. The Angel Foundation UKJA, founded by Angelia Christian. Well done, Angel. All the best. Continuing more on your program, both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. Good afternoon to Jessica. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm tuned in. Blessings to you. Blessings to you too, Jessica. Althea Bernard, good afternoon to you as well. Good day. Thank you very much for joining us. Good to have you on board. Asha Ash in London, England, as usual. Welcome, Asha Ash. It's always good to have you join us here on both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. So it remains to be seen if that controversial clause or gag order will be lifted anytime soon. That debate is raging all over, not just on the talk shows, but on social media as well. And we don't expect that raging debate to stop anytime soon. It's a question of whether, when a matter is being investigated, with respect to a public servant, parliamentarian, other officials who are whose behavior is governed by the Integrity Commission, that whether the information should be made public with respect to updates on the investigations. There's a school of thought that says you'll be sullying, you could potentially be sullying the name, the reputation of a public official or public servant, only to discover that whatever the allegation was, it wasn't proven, as opposed to naming those who are under investigation and pointing to, including in that, the allegation. So it's somewhere along the I don't know, both sides still differ, and it's a question of whether they can meet at a certain point in terms of their position, their respective positions, that would cause democracy to win, that would cause accountability to win, that would cause transparency to win. So that debate rages on. What do you think? 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. That's the numbers. Well, those are the numbers to call if you wish to participate in the discussions. You're free to send us your text messages as well as your WhatsApp messages and voice notes. And you can call us on WhatsApp as well, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Here's a message from Patriotic Jamaican in New York. Mr. Malcolm, your theme song this afternoon by Lord Creator is, as far as I am concerned, the first festival song of Jamaica. This artist is considered one of the fathers of Jamaican music. I'm still hoping and waiting for the government to honor him in some way. He was born in Trinidad, but has made Jamaica his home from way back in the day. He has made monumental contributions to Jamaican music and culture. I think he should have been recognized and honored a long time ago, but better late than never. Thank you very much, Patriotic Jamaican in New York. Perhaps you might want to share those sentiments with the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport, the Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange. Maybe she'll be able to do something about that. Over to you, Patriotic Jamaican in New York. Good afternoon to Ms. Elaine Barker, one of our regular listeners. Good afternoon to you, Ms. Barker. Always good to have you on board, listening and participating, mostly off air these days. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. Let Clarendon Lube help you protect your investment. They rebuild clutch, gear, brakes, speedometer, and winder cables for all automobiles. They also rebuild and replace hydraulic hoses, power steering hoses, power wash hoses, radiator and automobile hoses. Clarendon Lube, 1 Fogo Road, Denby, Maypen, below Denby Showground. Telephone 876-786-1591.
Crime Stop Jamaica Unsolved. Help us to solve the murder of 9-year-old Gabriel King, who was killed shortly after 11:30 a.m. on Thursday, January 13, 2022. Gabriel was with his mother in a blue SUV. She stopped the potholes and was suddenly hit in the face and dragged from the car. Her assailant drove away with young Gabriel. The SUV was found later on Fairfield Avenue with Gabriel on the back seat. Crime Stop and concerned citizens are offering a total reward of $1 million for information leading to an arrest and charge. Call Crime Stop Jamaica 311. Solving crime pays.
Gen Zers, we're back. Gen Z returns with a new look, fresh faces, hot topics, and a whole new vibe. We're talking finance, dating, dancehall. You think it? We discuss it. You don't want to miss it. So join us Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Power 106 FM and 6:30 p.m. on TVJ. Gen Z, a show for the youths, by the youths.
Although from two different parties, it was very good to see how these two politicians were shaking hands when they gained victory. Now independence is good for the...
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. We started this afternoon with M.G. Smith's Jamaica. I saw my land in the morning. And we paired that with Independent Jamaica by Lord Creator, which you've been listening to in between the segments. That's where it's at for this afternoon's edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876. You're free to call us to share your ideas, your suggestions, your issues, your concerns, your criticisms, your commendations, your recommendations, whatever is on your mind. Please feel free to share. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And meanwhile, in the United States of America, they're still dealing with the 6th of January riot and threat to democracy and national safety and security. The hearing is now focusing on Donald Trump's ties to extremist groups. And a rioter has testified he went to the Capitol because of Trump's tweets. Trump documentary filmmaker says this footage is the smoking gun, and they have other takeaways from the January 6th hearing, day number 7. We'll see where all that leads. In the meantime, let's keep it going here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And once again, congratulations to the Reggae Girls on their 4-0 drubbing of Haiti last night. And we wish them well as they pursue further achievements in this, their second consecutive World Cup football final. Well done. Well done to the Reggae Girls. Well done. Let's see here as we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Hello to the people of Sligoville. Jamaica's first free village, Sligoville, was officially opened on this day in 1840, but the development started long before that, on the 10th of June, 1835. At that time, 10 acres of land was purchased by the Baptist Church at Highgate in St. Catherine for sale to former slaves in quarter acre lots for £3 per lot. The new village was named Sligoville after the governor of Jamaica, the second Marquis of Sligo, Howe Peter Brown, who was governor of Jamaica from 1834 to 1836 during the period of apprenticeship. This is where the slaves provided 40 and a half hours per week of free labor to their former masters for a period of years before they could achieve full free or full freedom. Sligoville was the first free village to be established in the West Indies after the emancipation of the slaves. It was started by the Baptist minister at Spanish Town, the Baptist minister at Spanish Town, Reverend James Philippou, who bought the land in 1835. A church and a school were built there. 200 families were settled. The purchaser of the first lot of land in June 1838 was a man named Henry Lunan, who had been a slave and a head driver on an adjoining estate. The settlement was officially opened on this day in 1840. Sligo was seen as being in favor of the Negro, and as a result, his governorship was brief. The apprentices of Jamaica were to subscribe more than $1,000 to provide a mark of gratitude to Sligo, and in 1837, he was presented on their behalf with a magnificent silver candelabrum. The inscription on the candelabrum read, "Presented to the most noble Howe Peter, Marquis of Sligo, by the Negroes of Jamaica, in testimony of the grateful remembrance they entertain for his unremitting efforts to alleviate their sufferings and to redress their wrongs during his just and enlightened administration of the government of the island, and of the respect and gratitude they feel towards his excellent lady and family for the kindness and sympathy displayed towards them." In January 1996, Sligo's descendant, the 11th Marquis of Sligo, and his wife visited Jamaica and attended a memorial service at Sligoville Church. Sligoville was also at one time the summer residence of the governor, who had a mansion at Winchester. The Anglican church in the village was originally built by Sir John Augustus O'Sullivan, chief usher of the Lackrod and Provost Marshal General of Jamaica from 1825 to 1871, as a private chapel for his family and servants. The enormously wealthy O'Sullivan, who resided at Highgate Park in Sligoville, also introduced to Jamaica the English sport of hunting with hounds, and the Highgate Park hunt became a well-established social event, the imported hounds following an artificial scent. George Eastman, the inventor of Kodak camera. Do we still have any of those around? George Eastman, the inventor of Kodak camera, flexible roll film, died on the 14th of March, 1932, born on this day in 1854. Let's go to 1883. Sanitary conditions in Port Royal were described as horrible on this day in 1883, according to the hospital manager. This was because of the habits and habitations of the residents, which were an outrage to the laws of health. The hospital manager said people were too lazy to go to the places which were provided for their use. And that's the business of, I would imagine, relieving oneself wherever, whenever, without due consideration to public health and our own well being. That was 1883. Now let's go to 1884. A ship with about 696 Chinese immigrants arrived in Jamaica aboard the Prince Alexander on this day in 1884. Apart from about 20 who came from Siep, the rest were Hakka from the three counties of Dongguan, Fuyung, and Bao'an in Guangdong province. There were 508 men, 109 women, 59 boys, and 17 girls. 3 babies were also born at sea. There were also on board a translator and a herbal doctor. The ship was provisioned with familiar Chinese foodstuff, salted eggs, salted vegetables, rice, cooking oil, vinegar, soybean sauce, fowls, pigs, and other livestock, as well as medicine. From the distribution role of the estates, most of the laborers were assigned to work in St. Thomas, St. Mary, Portland, St. Andrew, and Westmoreland, with a majority going to Duckenfield in St. Thomas. During the 1880s, when the departure of African Jamaica and East Indian labor from the plantation appeared to pose a threat to production, the Jamaican government turned once again to Hong Kong for more cheap labor. News had by then spread of the success of some of the earlier Chinese immigrants. Some 680 farm laborers, lured by prospects of prosperity, took up the offer. Not all of them were indentured laborers. Some borrowed the passage money, and relatives in Jamaica sent for others. They set out from Macau on the South China coast on May 8, 1884, on board the SS Diamond, and sailed through the Suez Canal. Their wooden vessel, driven partly by steam and partly by sail, was so badly battered in a typhoon that it had to be abandoned at the first Canadian port of call, and the passengers transferred to another vessel, the SS Prince Alexander, to continue their onward journey to Jamaica. Let's stand by for the break. Let's take the break and come back. We're sharing with you some of the history of our people, not just those originating here in Jamaica, but those traveling from elsewhere under those conditions back then.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Coast to Coast Concrete, the high quality concrete for fencing, roofing, foundation, and road surfacing. Call 876-754-7472. The time by Coast to Coast Concrete is
3 o'clock.
Monkeypox is in Jamaica. If you are experiencing fever, intense headache, muscle aches, and/or rash on the skin, you must isolate immediately and call ahead to your health center or doctor before visiting. All members of the public should wear a mask, frequently wash hands, and practice physical distancing. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Gen Zers,
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Gen Z
One moment,
returns with
please.
a new look, fresh faces, hot topics, and a whole new vibe. We're talking finance, dating, dancehall. You think it? We discuss it. You don't want to miss it. So join us Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Power 106 FM and 6:30 p.m. on TV Day. Gen Z, a show for the youths, by the youths.
Let's get back to the story of the Chinese arriving in Jamaica. Not the first group of Chinese, but subsequent to the first group, which came ashore in 1854. We're at 30 years later, 30 years ahead of that, in 1884. So their first experience in Jamaica was most disheartening. On disembarkation, they were taken to the Spanish Town prison and kept there under armed guard until they were shipped out in mule carts to the various plantations which had contracted for them. They were subsequently taken to St. Thomas, St. Mary, Portland, St. Andrew, and Westmoreland. They were treated with the same distrust and faced the same discrimination which earlier Chinese and Indian laborers had experienced. Most of them were Hakka people, farmers from Guangdong province in southeast China, with a climate similar to that of Jamaica. In Jamaica, they found familiar medicinal herbs, fruits, and vegetables, which included sugarcane, bananas, plantains, and dasheen. They had all come with one goal in mind: to acquire wealth and return to build China. Once they had fulfilled the contract, they left the estates and sought employment with their sponsors and with other established members of the Chinese community. They were prepared to perform menial tasks until they could acquire a sufficient amount of money to set themselves up in business. Some obtained small loans, others received their start from Fui Chen. That's the equivalent of the African Jamaican Padna money or Susu. The arrival of this group of almost 700 Chinese immigrants on this day in 1884 happened 30 years after the first set of 267 Chinese immigrants came to Jamaica to serve as indentured laborers. Let's continue with more on your program. You've always heard us recite Nature by H.D. Carberry, and there are other pieces by H.D. Carberry that we've recited. Well, the H is for Hugh, the D for Doston or Dossie. Hugh Doston Carberry, otherwise known as Dossie, was born on this day in 1921, H.D. Carberry for short, the son of Sir John Carberry, a former Chief Justice of Jamaica, and Lady Georgina Carberry in Montreal, Canada. He came to Jamaica in infancy and spent most of his life here. He had his primary education at DeCarteret School in Mandeville, Jamaica, what is now known as DeCarteret College, and then attended Jamaica College. After working with the civil service, to which he qualified as second out of more than 100 applicants, H.D. Carberry went to St. Catherine College, Oxford University, where he obtained his BA and BCL. He read law at Middle Temple and was called to the bar in 1951, then returning to Jamaica to engage in private practice. In 1954, Carberry married Dorothea, and they had two sons, Martin and John, and a daughter, Christine. In addition to his career in law, H.D. Carberry was a poet and gave outstanding service in the cultural field, being a member of the managing committee of the Little Theatre since 1951. A devout Christian, he was also a pillar of the Providence Methodist Church as class co-leader. H.D. Carberry was clerk to the Houses of Parliament from 1969 to 1978 and a member of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. He was appointed judge of the Jamaican Court of Appeal in 1978 and served for a decade. H.D. Carberry died on June 28, 1989. So his is the piece that we read from time to time, we recite from time to time, Nature by H.D. Carberry. We have neither summer nor winter, neither autumn nor spring. Same one, yes. Let's look at 1933. A minimum wage of 40 cents an hour was established in the United States on this day in 1933. That was the minimum wage, 40 cents an hour. And if we were to look, let's see, in July 2009, the federal minimum wage in the United States was $7.25 per hour. And there's the story goes on. The first, let's go down a little more. There's another bit of information we wanted to share. Right. On this day in 1942, construction started on a spur line 1,080 feet long from Darling Street to the Coronation Market in Kingston to enable products transported by rail from rural areas for sale in the market to reach their destination without having to be unloaded from the train, then loaded onto a truck or cart, and subsequently unloaded at the market. I wonder, did that actually materialize? Maybe. I think I still see some train lines down that side. Some lines. Let's look at 1942. Because of the increasingly difficult transportation problems, the result of shortages of gasoline and tires by buses and private motor vehicles caused by the war between England and Germany, the 5 theaters in the corporate area, Carib, Movies, Palace, Gaiety, and Tivoli, started a new time schedule for matinee and night performances. Afternoon matinees at the Carib and Movies began at 4:30 p.m., and night shows at these and at the Palace and Gaiety began at 8 o'clock. With only one showing each night, Tivoli would continue to have 2 shows on weeknights at 7:15 and 8:45, and 1 show on Sundays at 8 p.m. So that's all right. Listen to this now. For those who are fans of football, did you know 1943? This is good. Let's look at 1943. In order to ensure that footballs would be able to be played in the 1943-44 season, the Jamaica Football Association gave all clubs affiliated to them a deadline to make a return by this afternoon of all new and used but serviceable bladders in their possession. In the past, footballs were made of materials such as inflated pig bladders, hence the use of the word at the time. That's right. Historically, the pig bladder was used in sports as the airtight membrane or bladder inside a football. So the Jamaica Football Association, JFA at the time, had made the request to return these bladders about a month before, but up to July 11, only one club had sent in its return. Clubs had also been asked if they would be willing to sell their stock of bladders to the Jamaica Football Association, who would then be in a position to control equal distribution so that the competitions can be continued on an organized basis. One reason for this suggestion was that if the number of bladders was insufficient, the Jamaica Football Association would make efforts to obtain the assistance of the English Football Association. So even football with shortages attendant on the war between England and Germany was being affected. That was 1943. All right, let's take a pause there. We'll come back with some more a little later on. But let's keep it going here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls at 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And here's a call on our WhatsApp line, which is the same as the text line from one who has now become a regular caller to the program. Sean, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
afternoon, Uncle Dervan, Malcolm, and how are you doing, sir?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I am great. I'm doing great. I'm really, really sorry about what happened yesterday. I will say this to you, Uncle. You always say this word on your program that when people is running their mouth, that is bad manners. That's not right. You must listen to people. And I love to listen to people like yourself who educated me and put me into perspective. I'm really sorry, Uncle.
That's all right. Understood.
Yes, yes, I understand. And I will never do that ever again. All right. Uncle, what you were saying to me yesterday, you tell me that the matter is now in court about the student that assaulted the teacher.
Yes.
Yes, I'm very, very happy. Can I tell you something, Uncle? When I was watching the video on YouTube on Friday, the video that was circulated on social media, he was fighting the teacher, he was grabbing her. How could a student do that to their own teacher? That is very bad. The boy is supposed to have a mental health problem or whatever.
Now, we all have mental health issues. It's just a matter of how we manage our situation. And we cannot make such a pronouncement. Only an expert can make a pronouncement with respect to someone's mental health or otherwise. So it would be most inappropriate for us to go down that line.
Yes, 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 I understand. I'm very happy that the matter is now in court. But sadly, when I was listening to the news this morning, I heard that a 28-year-old man committed suicide. You know that people must stop do that. They must stop do that to their own life.
No, I don't know that. I don't know that you can take such a position. It's again, we don't know what people are going through, and everybody deals with these things differently. And what is needed is a level of empathy as opposed to animosity.
Yes, I understand you. Because you always say this to me. People are free to be whatever they want to be. People are free to do whatever they want to do. So as long as that freedom does not infringe on another person's freedom.
So it is.
Yes, I understand you. Also, when I was watching the video on Friday, I see two high school girls fighting. Those high school girls need to stop the fighting in high school. They must live peaceful with each other. They must be good friends. Oh, boy, this is so disturbing. They need to stop it. I don't know what is going on. Oh, boy. Oh. You know that like when two high school girls are fighting in high school, it is like the Jamaican frame that say when you see two women is fighting a woman over a man. You know that type of frame?
Well, you know for a fact that that's what was happening?
Yes, I did see the video on Friday. I know everything about it. Before I watched it on Friday, they say it was 4 weeks ago. It was at the Tivoli Gardens High School.
So what's the significance of that now?
I don't have any significance, but all I have to say, the students must stop all the fighting in school all the time. They must stop it. They must live good with each other. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for the call. Take care. All the best. Okay.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Ras Asta Black is still calling for the Reggae Highway, it seems. Also messaging us, Hermin, otherwise known as June in Norway. She says, nice hearing you again after many days. Power 106 was down for us who are listening on the internet. She says, thank you very much for your message, Lady June. All the very best. I think we just missed a call from one of our regular listeners in Florida. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:16. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's go to another WhatsApp call. Same as the text line, 876-365-3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, someone. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm okay. All right. You was mentioning something about something they make. One thing you mentioned about the Kodak film there. And you said they're still making the Kodak camera.
Yes.
I have one, but I do not have the latest version because this one it carry a chip like the phone. You don't want to put 500 pictures.
Oh, that's
I think they still have them, but they make them differently now.
Oh.
And to Western Union now. Here's what I'm not getting. If you send $100, you can use one ID and collect that money. But if you send X amount, they would want two ID. I don't get that.
I don't know. The thinking is it would appear on the face of it that the volume of funds or the amount of money that is being sent needs a higher level of validation. I can't think of any other reason.
Yeah, but the thing is, the same picture on one ID is the same picture going to be in the other one. So I don't get the picture. I don't get that.
Which ID would you normally use for the?
They want government ID, but they want two ID. The person said they want two ID. But if you show your driver's license and you show your passport, the same picture in them. So I don't see the need for that. They need to come with something better than that.
Well, you need to tell them or consider going elsewhere.
But more likely we're going to see more about there. If we say more than certain more than one to.
Well, you won't know until you find out.
So my point is, they feel like something going wrong why they want to ID.
No, remember there was a time, and it's quite fortunate to still have Western Union running right now, because there was a time when things were so bad with the scamming and corrupt and fraudulent practices, bedeviling remittance agencies at home and abroad. And some of it was just sheer stigma as well. And so a lot of cleaning up had to be done. The offices had to be closed for a little while, and all kinds of safeguards, additional safeguards put in place, etc. And so I guess they would tell you that they're trying to ensure that they don't go back to that place.
So the two ID will stamp out those practice?
Well, they must know if they are experts in the field. They must know, and they would be in touch with the experts, other experts in the field as well, to conclude that that is a more feasible type of verification or more practical to them based on what they know, because we don't know everything that they know in their line of work, do we?
Yeah, but it's what they know that this camera, they know it too. If you require two ID, if you get the money, this camera don't beat that system. So they need to come up with something more, to me, more sensible one.
How do you beat that system? Tell us. You sound like an expert.
No, I'm not an expert. I'm the expert. I'm not chill. I don't chill for that. But if you want two ID, you can give me my money. Then you can get two ID and get the money same week.
Yeah, but there,
But
which is why it is so important to follow in the footsteps of India, and I'm trying to remember the other countries which have successfully set up national identification systems. In India, they had compliance in excess of, I think, 95%, at least 95. I think it was more in terms of compliance, and they have a population of about 1.2 billion people.
So the two IDs can put all illegal activity.
No, their one ID takes care of everything. That's what
So
that's.
why we
Well,
sorry.
go
So why
ahead.
we have to use two in Jamaica?
Well, the plan is pretty soon we will only need one, the national ID, the national identification card. That's all we will need for everything.
That's a mid card.
Yeah.
That is sitting on the table for nearly 2, 3, 4, 5 years now. Why don't up and running as it?
No, when you're trying to roll out something as significant and precarious as people's data, you can't you can't rush those things. You have to make sure you get it right, because the terrorists tell us that they only need to get it right once. The rest of us must get it right all the time. That's what we're faced with.
So, all right, who is the expert here? Because the terrorists send it to right one time and it may last a lifetime. Why we take a lifetime to get it right?
I don't understand what you're saying.
The government system take too long to get it right. While the
No, you can't
non-government
rush.
system
You have
get it
to
right.
understand. Remember, you don't just bam bam and put something together and say, all right, this is a national ID. It has to go through, it has to pass certain tests. It has to go through, like so many things in this life, like the vehicles, to test the motor vehicles in terms of crash impact, the impact of collisions and crashes, and whether the airbags deploy, etc. You have to put in the crash dummies in order to test the integrity of the structure of the unit of the vehicle. So it's a similar thing when it comes to these cards. You have to run them through the system over and over and over again, and just check for the slightest glitch or slightest anomaly. And once you pick those up, you have to then rework some element of the thing. It's highly scientific and design oriented, and has to be dealt with meticulously. It's not a slapdash thing.
I say I can switch gear. The TRN number that you have in Jamaica.
If you say TRN, you don't need to say number.
No,
The N is for number. The TRN.
That's TRN. All right, if it lost, and then gonna replace it, they give you a new number.
I don't know what the new national identification, what the national identification card will look like, and what will be the implications for the other cards, except that my understanding is that we will only need one card. So instead of having driver's license, driver's license, TRN, national ID, etc., you would just, all of those, in a manner of speaking, would be merged into one. So you have one ID which has all your particulars.
No, you better make it right now. As it is right now, the ID is not out yet. So what I'm saying now, if your TRN lost right now, and you report it, and they're gonna replace it, they give you a new number.
I've never lost my TRN, so I don't know.
Why I ask it is that your social security number that you use in the United States. if that number, for whatever reason you lose it and they're going to replace, is the same number coming back to you. And what they do, they use that number to pin you for life, so you can't say it's not you and anything go wrong.
Well, that's the United States of America. Let's see if Jamaica's system is going to be anywhere close to that. We'll see.
All right, bro. I hear you loud and clear.
All right. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Para 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, taking your calls on 876 365 3346, 876 365 3346. And let's clear some more of these messages. Good afternoon to Paul Miles of the eponymous Paul Miles Foundation. Good day to you. He says, Dervan, good day, Dervan, and all listeners. Dervan, I'm in the living room watching you live via smart projector technology. Well, that's good to know, Paul. And Olimar Pressful says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Great show as per usual. Thank you, Olimar Pressful. Mr. Lex says, good afternoon, Dervan. Ministry of Education saying girls outperform boys in the recent PEP exams is like saying the sky is blue. You are correct. There's nothing new there. There's the research has shown the development level of girls at a certain age or by a certain age, and then boys getting to their maturity level at a certain age, etc. There's nothing new there. The researchers have long done the work. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, good afternoon. Millicent Morris says, blessings and love, doing a great work. Thank you, Millicent. So it's really for us to use the data to inform the decisions that we make with respect to how we educate our children. That's simply what it boils down to. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
How are you, my brother?
I'm giving thanks for life, and you?
I'm not as sweet as you. You sound as young and bright as ever, man.
Oh, you're very kind.
Okay. Sister, my brother,
can you help us with that radio, though, please? We're not supposed to be hearing it when we're on air.
Yes, hold on.
This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Para 106 FM. Still streaming live.
Yes, my brother.
Uh-huh.
We are undergoing a serious trial in the world today, you know, because security-wise, the earth is in a dangerous position. The Bible said, whether we eat or drink or whatever we do, do all to the glory of God. And the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. There is a great problem going on right now in the world. There is a news that says $339.9 billion are being investigated, are being posted in the Jamaican economy. And it is coming from Saudi Arabia. No, all
right, tell you what, hold the line, don't move. Let's take your number off air. Let's take your number off air so that we can call you back. We have a feature coming up in just a moment. Please hold the line.
Protecting Jamaica's borders from illicit imports and exports is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
This
It's the show that engages you with stimulating and intriguing discussions to spice up your night. It's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas, Mondays to Thursdays from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Where you may ask me a question, I may or may not answer.
Hear pertinent advice and share your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters. Get the answers you need for your burning questions. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
You know, look like she did love me to me. But me still just there. And she pushed me out, so do my best,
That's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas, keeping your company Mondays to Thursdays from 10 p.m. till midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
This is Jamaica. This is my country. A son of this island, a daughter of this land. Fearless of fear, I stand in awe. Only love prevails, secured in God's hands. This is Jamaica, where joy cometh in the morn, surrounded by mystic waters, crashing upon the shores where only heroes are born. Only if you knew Jamaica as well as I do, then you would utter, I love you, Jamaica. God knows I do. This is Jamaica, a simple speck in the universe. Our hearts beat and pulse in every nation, but only second to the kingdom of God. We put Jamaica first. I am Jamaican, regardless of where you may find me. Black, green, and gold is the marrow in my bones. So if I die away from my island, I pray to God you'll take me home.
The iconic recitation of This is Jamaica by the writer himself, Peter Gracie, signaling the start to our weekly feature, This is Jamaica. It's a feature which highlights, promotes, and celebrates the importance of poetry, poetry in the classroom, the poetry scholarship competition, which is a part of this movement, the business of raising funds, encouraging donations to assist in purchasing educational material, for example, tablet computers, etc. And it's also a very good build-up to the poetry. This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship 2022, and I believe now would be a good time to start those preparations, especially children. Now would be a good time to start the preparations for the This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship 2022. In the meantime, our series of interviews continues, where we speak with members of the diaspora and get their views, their thoughts, their ideas, their perspective on poetry, the importance of poetry in the classroom, the impact that it can have on the impressionable youngsters, and also with a view to directing the attention of the youngsters towards the This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship competition. And so this afternoon, we are delighted to have joining us the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council representative for the Southern USA, founder of People Profile. I think we could add some more to that. We would have to add the Jamaican Men of Florida as another organization he founded and has been associated with. He's a businessman. He is not doing anything that he is not encouraging the rest of us to do, which is to invest in Jamaica in more ways than one. He has been doing that for some time. He is Dr. Alan Cunningham. Good afternoon to you, Dr. Cunningham. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dervan. I'm doing quite well. It's really hot here in sunny South Florida, but nonetheless, it's a beautiful place to be in Florida. And so, I'm just taking it one day at a time, and I'm doing quite well. Still relaxing from the 2022 People's Profile Awards that took place last Sunday.
In fact, can we start there quickly before we get into other matters? How did that go?
It was an amazing, magical night of just celebrating our community leaders. Of course, People Profile recognizes those persons in our community doing extraordinary work, and we recognize several persons. We have Dr. Debbie Goodman, who received the Educator of the Year award. We have Daniel England, legendary Daniel England from Calabar.
I mean, where else?
Receiving the Sports Leadership Award.
Yes.
And then we have Khalil Mahmoud receiving the Community Leadership Award. And we have other persons just basking in the glory of the event, Dervan. Must also mention that because this is Jamaica's 60th, we included a special Trailblazer Award that was presented to 8 Jamaicans. Dr. Susan Davis, Carl Brown, legendary national coach, and seasoned politician, former mayor of Broad County, Dear Holness, and mayor of Lauderdale Lakes, Hazel Rogers, and then also David Muir, a well-known artist in the area and globally. And then we have Keithus Williams, a culinary chef, and a legendary DJ from the Stone Love movement, DJ Cancer, Errol Marsh. So it was a very wonderful evening of celebrating us as Jamaicans and others, even though the People Profile organization encompassed all culture. We had a special segment for the 60th anniversary of celebrating our independence. It was well attended, Dervan, and I was particularly pleased to see our members just dressed in all the beauty and splendor and glitz that comes with the People Profile Award. Seeing limousine just arriving on the scene.
You know, as Jamaicans, we don't do anything small, you know.
It was absolutely beautiful and breathtaking.
Yes, indeed. I can well imagine. And I'm sure it was all captured on camera for posterity.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Absolute Valentine.
Wonderful, excellent. We must do more of that, actually. In terms of documenting our activities as communities, as Jamaicans, wherever we call home, because the history is important. So now, how did you get in touch with? How did you learn of the work being done by Peter Gracie and this poem, This is Jamaica, which has now essentially become a movement?
Well, Peter Gracie has been a friend of mine from in the mid-80s. We were neighbors.
Oh.
And we lived in Florida. So we live in Florida, so we maintain our friendship.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people would say that Peter Gracie is my left hand. Right here in Florida, we are always attending various functions. And when I started the People Profile Awards and the People Profile organization, he immediately joined the following year. And so he rose to the rank of vice president, and he was just the person in charge of most of the promotions, etc., and doing the People Profile story. But one thing I found out about Peter Gracie, while for the past 20 years, he was a very good writer. He has this knack for writing things about how he was feeling at the particular time. And so I've always encouraged him. I said, Peter, you have something going on. And he has always been writing from high school, but he started to foster that talent a little bit more, and so I am extremely proud of This Is Jamaica. This is one of his hallmark poems, and so I am in full support of it.
Yes, and it is loaded with lessons, and there's the what we've been doing is exploring uh, poetry in the classroom, the importance of poetry in the classroom. Do you remember your days in school, and whether you had any interest or took any interest at all in poetry?
Absolutely. In fact, I was a well-known what you call actor.
Oh,
So I used to act in school, and my mother used to have when she had her church meetings, etc. I used to have to go to church to recite my poems.
nice.
Poems like "I Wonder" by Jeannie Kirby
Hmm.
or "The Postman," those type of poems.
Yes.
It was a joy for me to recite those poems, and I was noted for that. So I understand the importance of a child being able to express himself and to understand what the expression means. Because poetry, as you know, Dervan, is not the type of language that comes, in very understanding terms. Sometimes there are some irony, sometimes there are satires
Hmm.
involved, and so it is important for students to understand the role of poetry and the ability for them to express themselves, especially from a young age. And so this uh, uh, this is Jamaica is just another medium through which students are able to express and to feel a kinship with their culture and with their Jamaican pride.
That's right.
So absolutely. So I believe that this is well fitting, and so I applaud it.
Yeah, and it also is quite useful in terms of the personal development, in terms of the child's ability to express himself or herself and to do so. Yes, we all get nervous at some stage or another, but to be able to do it at an early age, to get that kind of practice in at an early age, it really helps one to develop one's personality and presentation techniques.
Yes. And,
Mhm.
and, and what I love most about it is that, when we were growing up in the late 60s, early 70s, we were taught some poems that were not relevant to our culture, if I
True,
may say so.
true,
But
true.
this Jamaica, you couldn't find another poem that is so relevant and to
Hmm.
who we are as a people
Yes.
and to what we aspire to and to the love we have of country and culture. So
Yes,
this speaks to all of it, and it speaks about us.
that's right. And this is our 60th year of independence. I would imagine you there are a lot of events, activities, not least of all the just concluded People Profile Awards. Want to give you an opportunity to give us a sense of what the global Jamaica diaspora uh, will be doing in the southern USA or has been doing, and what is to come as part of the celebrations. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
First in the West Indies, now independence is good for the young and the old, also for me and you.
Thanks a lot for staying with us on this week's edition of This is Jamaica during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, And our guest on This is Jamaica this week is Dr. Alan Cunningham, the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council representative for the Southern USA, founder of People Profile, founder of the Jamaican Men of Florida. He's also a lecturer, associate professor in international business with expertise in comparative government. And he's from right here in Jamaica, a product of Whitfield Town, Kingston 13. We were in Whitfield Town, was it last week or week before last? A couple weeks
Last
ago.
month. Yeah, last month.
Yes.
The first week in last month.
Mhm.
But I must remind you also, Dervan, that Jadias, I'm also the founder of the Jadias organization. And your very good friend, Dr. Rosemary Lewis, would be mad if you're not. Because remember,
Yes,
because
indeed.
remember the Jadias organization. So let me
Jamaica.
help you out.
Yes, please. Please. Thank you. Jamaica Diaspora, Southern USA.
Southern USA.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yeah. So now the business of how Jadias and all the other organizations you're associated with, what you've been able to do so far and what is to come in this season of Jamaica 60.
So again, thanks for the opportunity again,
Sure.
Dervan. I know that in the Southern Diaspora, the work never ends.
Mhm.
There are a lots of things that need to be accomplished, and unfortunately, too little time. I know I've been living here in the Southern Diaspora for 32 years, and I can tell you that every year we celebrated our Jamaican independence. But this year is different. This year, Dervan, as what you say in Jamaica, the thing turn up big time because they're having like probably 7 to 11 events per day right here in South Florida.
What? Per day?
I'm not talking about Central Florida, North Florida. I'm talking about Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, the other 13 states in the Southern Diaspora.
My word.
Speaking only about South Florida.
Yes.
We having the 30th, we're having our ecumenical service under the distinct patronage of our Consul General, Oliver Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be having, on the 6th, we'll be having several events there. But most notably, we'll be having our Diamond Jubilee celebration at the Jura event, which is slated for August 6th. And we'll also be having, at that function, we'll be honoring legendary Jamaican singer Jimmy Cliff.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's going to be a huge event.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be having several commemorative events going on that same day. We're having probably about 5 major events happening. And also we'll be having our gala in Houston. I think it's the following week. And then the 13th will be in Atlanta for the Atlanta Gala. So I know there's a lot of things lined up. I know there's a lot of events, including parties and just general celebrations. We'll be having I'm suspecting the biggest motorcade in the history of Jamaicans living in Florida on August 7th, right in the center of Broward County. And we are expecting probably close to 5,000 to 10,000 people. I just don't know how it's gonna, but we are planning ahead to make sure that everything is kept logistically and everybody is safe, and we have a very beautiful and great celebration of Jamaica's 60th. It's just overwhelming just thinking about it, Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking forward to all the events, as many as I can attend to.
Yes.
I know the Jamaican Central Florida Association will be having their event also on the 6th. And so for those events that I am not able to attend, I've always sent my greetings and my video to make sure that I can share in the camaraderie with everyone.
Excellent, excellent. And so with all of that having been said now, it's important that the children are involved, especially what you say now, second, third generation of Jamaicans in the diaspora in terms of immersing them into the culture, if that has already not taken hold on them. This is the season, this is the time for that immersion, isn't it?
Absolutely. I know that the Global Jamaica Youth Council is doing a fantastic job, and I know that they are putting events in place as well. And my knowledge is limited, so I don't want to share too much on that.
Sure.
But I know that there are certain things in place that they are doing, and I know that within the next week or two, they will be promoting their cause as well.
Right. And if we could just come back to education for a bit, because we just had the release of the PEP results, the primary exit profile. And, we have the usual debates here in Jamaica about the girls being ahead of the boys. But there's a belief, and it is a fact that perhaps we are forgetting that the girls mature a little earlier than the boys, and therefore that has implications for how they comport themselves, how they function, how they learn, etc. So there are those who are saying, let us stop rehashing that bit that says, well, the girls are ahead of the boys, because it's not something that is organized. It's something that is organic in terms of their age, in terms of their maturity, before a little ahead of the boys. But the thinking is, why aren't we tailoring our education offering in a way that reflects the sensitivity to the differences between how boys learn and how girls learn? Was that ever a topic of discussion in your time, Dr. Cunningham?
No, in fact, it's interesting that you're saying that, because I remember that, when I was in primary school, early school, I couldn't understand why they are referencing girls as being more mature. I think it's on a physical level,
yes,
but on a psychological level, I would take it this way. I think that it depends on the individual. I think collectively, I wouldn't put one sex over the other, because based on studies, boys tend to learn the technical aspects of education at a faster level.
Practical, hands-on.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
yeah,
at a faster level. So
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't see that as a great topic in terms of what the level of motivation is. I think it's just the individual, their circumstances, their environment, and who is their reference, their influence, not only in school but at home.
Yeah. Thank you for that perspective. And so on now towards revving up. I mean, apart from the celebrations that are going to happen, we are going to continue the build up to September for the This is Jamaica poetry scholarship competition. So we want to use the opportunity to encourage the youngsters out there to go to thisisjamaica.org to get more information on the This is Jamaica Poetry Scholarship. And we are looking forward to the outcome. In fact, the youngsters are already preparing themselves. Let's give our listeners a little more information. So, the scholarship was created to empower children to restore and preserve Jamaican culture through poetry, drama, and the arts, to explore poetry as an educational building block, and to promote literacy. And the hope is to inspire and motivate students to express themselves freely through this poem, This is Jamaica, written by Peter Gracie. It's open to students 6 to 17 years old, 6 to 17. Those who are currently enrolled in school during the scholarship period, parents or guardians must give permission, and they must register at thisisjamaica.org/scholarships. And applications must be submitted by September 23rd, and video renditions by September the 30th. So around about that time, I'm sure you too will have an interest, Dr. Cunningham, in seeing some of those YouTube videos of our children, our Jamaican children.
Absolutely, Dervan. In fact, I applaud Peter greatly, and I would encourage others, individuals and entities and corporations, to get involved in providing scholarships for our students in Jamaica. This is the foundation of our future.
That's right.
Education is crucial, and I think if we could just foster this upcoming generation, then definitely our future will be in the direction that we would like to see it.
Excellent. And so, as we wrap, we want to give you an opportunity to talk to Jamaica and Jamaicans listening to us now at home and abroad. Whatever is on your mind in terms of having this platform to say a word or two to Jamaicans. Doesn't have to be anything long, but over to you.
Thank you very much, Dervan. I would like to, first of all, to congratulate the Peter Gracie poem scholarship. And I'd like to thank you, Dervan, for what you have been doing in our community. April of this year, I recognized 60 Jamaicans in the diaspora that is doing excellent work. And those 60 Jamaicans included yourself, even though you're not in the diaspora. But because of your connections and what you have been doing, I could not have excluded you. But nonetheless, it could have been thousands, Dervan, because when I look around in the southern diaspora, Jamaicans are committed to their island. Jamaicans love their culture. It's a certain pride that is unexplainable at times. And so Jamaicans here living in southern diaspora, I'm extremely proud. And I just want to advise and to encourage Jamaicans to let us try and work with each other.
Yes.
I believe that if we work together, Dervan, if Jamaicans learn to work together in the southern diaspora, I guarantee you that we will be an unstoppable force. By working together, meaning to encourage each other's services, products, to promote it. I don't know if you are aware of this new company by the name of Grocery List. Grocery List started probably about 3-4 months ago, and their primary responsibility is to provide groceries to persons in Jamaica with just the click of a button. And it's all over in South Florida. It's taking shape in the northern states as well. So, if we could just learn to promote and to
support our own, yes.
Support our own, Dervan. Yeah. I guarantee you, this money that we are amassing will be spent in Jamaica.
That's right. One way or another, indeed.
One way or another.
Well, on that note, we want to thank you very much for joining us on this afternoon's edition of our weekly feature. This is Jamaica on both sides of the story, Pora 106 FM. Well done to you and your team of volunteers and members of the Jamaican community in the southern USA for all the work that you continue to do. Well done.
Thank you very much, Dervan.
All the best. Bye-bye. Bye.
This is Jamaica. This is my country. A son of this island, a daughter of this land. Fearless of fear, I stand in awe. Only love prevails, secured in God's hands. This is Jamaica, where joy cometh in the morn, surrounded by mystic waters, crashing upon the shores where only heroes are born. Only if you knew Jamaica as well as I do, then you would utter, I love you, Jamaica. God knows. God knows I do. This is Jamaica, a simple speck in the universe. Our hearts beat and pulse in every nation, but only second to the kingdom of God. We put Jamaica first. I am Jamaican, regardless of where you may find me. Black, green, and gold is the marrow in my bones. So if I die away from my island, I pray to God you'll take me home.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
2 minutes past 4 o'clock. How long is this break?
Welcome once again to Milestones in Nationhood. I look at
Okay.
60 significant milestones in Jamaica's history and development as Jamaica celebrates 60 years of independence. Our pre-independence chapters continue with the English conquest of the Spanish here and the establishment of British rule. After the British conquest led by Admiral William Penn and General Robert Venables in 1655 and consequent British rule, Jamaica went from being a Spanish storehouse to one of the most prized colonial possessions of the entire British Empire. However, due to the proximity of Spanish territories that threatened Jamaica, buccaneers such as Henry Morgan were recruited as buccaneers to attack Spanish interests in the Caribbean. These pirates turned privateers helped to transform Port Royal into the richest city of vice in the New World. Port Royal's days as a pirate's haven, however, were numbered, and on June 7, 1692, a massive earthquake plummeted much of the city into the Kingston Harbor. As commercial trade was the lifeblood of most colonies, the English settlers concerned themselves with growing crops that could easily be sold in England. Tobacco, indigo, and cocoa soon gave way to sugar, which became the main crop for the island. The sugar industry grew so rapidly that the 57 sugar estates in the island in 1673 grew to nearly 430 by 1739 and to 814 by 1804, including Trial in Hanover, Appleton in St. Elizabeth, and Long Pond in Trelawney. Enslaved Africans filled the large labor force required for the industry in what became known as the transatlantic slave trade. The British continued to ship the in-demand Africans to the West Indies to be sold to planters who forced them to work on sugar plantations. Thus, sugar became Jamaica's and Britain's prized commodity, and on the backs of a large population of African slaves, the colony became one of the most important sugar producers in the world. The cruelty of the enslavement and the comparatively small number of the slave masters, however, resulted in a history of resistance, rebellion, and unrest as African Jamaicans fought for freedom to better their lot. This resistance has been an indelible part of the Jamaican psyche to this day, and we'll learn more about resistance to slavery and the British in our next edition of Milestones in Nationhood. Information for the feature was provided by the Information Service and BigJamaica.com.
It will be a great success. So let us live in unity, progress and prosperity. Swing it, daddy.
That line, let us live in unity for progress and prosperity. Lord Creator seems to have created a dichotomy of sorts, but in a positive way, that one political party has adopted the word progress, that's the People's National Party, and the Jamaica Labour Party, the word prosperity. And the fact that Lord Creator would have used these two words back in 1962 for progress and prosperity. I'm not even sure were the parties at that time in 62 thinking along those lines. Did the People's National Party in 1962 say, we are for progress, and the Jamaica Labour Party, we are for prosperity? I don't think so. I think over the years, these two terms have evolved and have been associated with either political party. So the People's National Party, for example, would tell us, don't stop the progress. Remember that? Don't stop the progress. And then, of course, we have the Jamaica Labour Party hanging on prosperity and associating prosperity with the Jamaica Labour Party. And to think that, well, again, in 1962, when the national pledge was conceived, the word prosperity was included. It was included in the national pledge. So whether it was by design or happenstance, it still stands to this day. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:07. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:07. CNC, TDN le. Well, the time just changed from 7 minutes past 4 to 8 minutes past 4. So CNC, TDN le. Ce dien liang ba fen. 8 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5. Text line same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, is congratulating the Reggae Girls. We join you in congratulating the Reggae Girls on their historic back-to-back World Cup finals qualification. Inez Iona Campbell, good afternoon to you too. Thank you very much for tuning in somewhere in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Herman Bowie Bailey says, hello, Mr. Malcolm. I'm tired of seeing the killing in my beautiful country. I wonder if the people don't know when they are doing all the wickedness, killings and robbing. They're doing it to the children and grandchildren. That is why so much trouble on the land, too much evil. Generation curse, says Herman Bowie Bailey. Norman Hines in St. Thomas is greeting us. Good afternoon, Norman Hines. Always good to have you on board. Thank you very much. Jennifer Stewart from Q Road in Kencott, East Central St. Andrew. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, Faye Weller. Dorrell says, bless up, everything good, Mr. Dervan Malcolm. Continue going the extra mile on the path of righteousness to keep Jamaicans from all walks of life safe and prosperous, including our diaspora, born and friends overseas in these perilous times. And she says, one love Jamaicans and others globally. Please help to guide the people on the path of righteousness to live a safe, free, and prosperous life on earth. Good afternoon to B. Jew. Good afternoon, Mr. B. Good afternoon. Good afternoon as well to Jorvilia. Hope you're well. All the best. Hello to, who is this now? This one says, good afternoon, Dervan, Minister of Education. Oh, we read that already. Millicent Morris says, blessings and love, doing a great work. Thank you, Millicent Morris. Carol Williams says, good day, Mr. Malcolm. I want to big up the Jamaican reggae girls from across the miles for their power, their resilience, their determination, and most of all, being women in the football world. Natalie Winter from Washington Gardens says, good afternoon, Dervan from sunny Washington Gardens, Kingston 20. Pleasant viewing and listening. Ras Ayuda says, blessings. He's in London, I believe. Natalie Winter says, it all depends on what we mean by prosperity and progress, because I have not seen it. Is this progress and prosperity for a few? I have not seen it yet, says Natalie. Let's go to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5. Sophia Nemard has joined us in Newell, St. Elizabeth. Good afternoon, Sophia Nemard. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, yes. You had called earlier on, right?
Yes.
Right. Please go ahead now.
Yes. My brother, I am a bit not confused, but I am wondering if Jamaica is the same place that Jesus came and died for. Because in Luke 4, 1 to 13, Jesus came and he died and he resurrected. And is back in heaven selecting all those who shall be saved. And I have seen in the newspapers where Jamaica has received, is almost getting $3.39.9 billion to do tourism and to do everything in Jamaica. I don't hear anything said. Well, it is said by the Prime Minister, but I don't know if it's the same Bible that we have read and I have studied and I have been baptized into the gospel of Christ, and I am wondering if it is the same Jesus.
Hold on one moment, please. One moment.
Manly called up a referendum for you to make your own decision. So
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
independence is good for the young and the old. Also for me.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:15. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:15.现在几点了？4:15. 15 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? Yes, young people, we know it's summer, you're on a break, but of course there are those of you attending summer school, trying to close that learning gap. You know what we always say anyway, even when school is out, homework is always in, because homework is about preparation, and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Hope you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Let's go back to the caller. Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Yes, my brother. I am not here condemning or rejecting anyone. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, that whosoever believes, accept Jesus, and has repented, the same shall be saved. We have a governor general, we have a prime minister, and I don't know if they would have misled the Jamaican people, or the Jamaican people has rejected Jesus, who came and died to save all. God is love. God so loved, he gave his only begotten Son. So I am just saying, if they have rejected the Bible, they have not read the Bible, and I am here working to that all my brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews, that the whole world of people can accept Jesus and have a right to the Bible that says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world as a witness, and then shall the end come. Jesus will be coming, and I am here waiting anxiously and trying. I have worked with about 500 people baptized in the church that keep the commandments of God and have the faith of Jesus. And I am here preaching. My children, they have gone to Kingston College and they are pilots. I want all of us in Jamaica and the universe to be saved. So the time shall come, we shall say, who must last? Who must last? Praise God. We are here. And we shall build houses and we shall live through the ceaseless ages of eternity. My brother, I am looking forward and hoping that Jamaica will be saved with all the peoples of the world. But when I see Saudi Arabia coming here to spend $339.9 billion in tourism and everything, is somebody misleading Jamaica or the prime minister?
What, you don't believe it, or you don't want it?
No, oh Lord, my brother, I don't have an enemy, because if I have an enemy and that enemy has repented, he's my brother. I am hoping. I only hope that the Jamaica is not being misled by the Saudi Arabian government coming here to spend $339.9 billion, and they shall be lost. My brother, you have been doing a wonderful job. You are one of my favorites, and you have long patience. When I listen to you, sometimes I see how some of them behave to you. I said, this is my brother. So my brother, I pray God that Jamaica and the world of people, all of us, shall repent and accept Jesus, and we shall say, who must last? Who must last? Praise God. Who must last?
Amen. Thank you very much for the call. All the best.
My brother, God bless.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Here's some more Jamaican history. 61, notice was given that because the symbols of the head, the hand, and the star were associated with the three political parties which would contest the next general elections, and efforts were being made ostensibly to take the referendum campaign on whether or not Jamaica should remain as a member of the West Indies Federation out of party politics. These symbols were to be prohibited for use on the ballot paper in the referendum. That was 1961 in Jamaica. 1967, Prime Minister Hugh Shearer told farmers of Jamaica at the Jamaica Agricultural Society's annual meeting that government's target in its land utilization program was to put the entire acreage of idle land in Jamaica into use. He referred to those people who are accustomed to coming out on their verandas at 6 o'clock in the morning, looking over vast areas of unused lands and saying contentedly, "All this is mine." He announced that the new Land Utilization Commission had already inspected 70 properties comprising 127,000 acres. Of these, 20,000 had been adjudged to be idle and underused. That was 1967. We're still having issues with idle land and underused acreages. It's still with us. Still with us. 1968, an agreement was reached at a meeting between the Broadcasting Authority, the Advertisers Association, and the Advertising Agencies Association to Jamaicanize advertisements on radio and television as far as possible within 3 years, using Jamaican artists, voices, models, and scenery. According to the advertisers, the current problem is inadequate equipment and a shortage of trained models. So again, it's just a reflection of where we're coming from. There was a time when some of us would never be seen on TV and we wouldn't be heard voicing commercials. So, because in 1968, and as a result of that, in 1968, an agreement was reached at a meeting between the Broadcasting Authority, the Advertisers Association, and the Advertising Agencies Association to Jamaicanize advertisements on radio and television as far as possible within 3 years, using Jamaican artists, voices, models, and scenery. According to the advertisers, the current problem was inadequate equipment and a shortage of trained models. Let's look at 1977. Agreement was reached in principle for the government to purchase Barclays Bank. Douglas Fletcher would be the chairman of the new financial institution, and the other two government members on the board would be Egerton Richardson, former governor of the Bank of Jamaica, and Huntley Manhertz. Do we have more? Let's share a little closer to recent times. Closer to recent times. 1990, Lester Lloyd Coke, alias Jim Brown, the notorious Tivoli Gardens activist who succeeded the late slain Claudius Mossop, was stopped by the police for questioning. Brown, 41, who had been linked by U.S. law enforcement authorities with a Shower Posse, a Miami-based crime gang, was deported to Jamaica on March 12, 1988, following his arrest by U.S. immigration agents when he applied for permanent residency in Miami. Sources said he was being questioned about a series of shootings in the Hannahtown, Fletchersland area of Kingston on July 3. That incident left 1 man dead and 7 wounded, including 5 policemen, when a man was being sought for his knowing about the gunslaying of Bridget Mumpy, 16, one of Coke's daughters. 1993, 196 people were killed when an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.8 on the Richter scale struck northern Japan. 1995, a heat advisory was issued in Chicago, Illinois, warning of an impending record-breaking heat wave. By the time the heat broke a week later, nearly 1,000 people were dead in Illinois and Wisconsin. All right, let's switch a bit. All right, so it is now official that Twitter has sued Elon Musk because of his pullback from purchasing Twitter for $44 billion. Twitter is suing billionaire Elon Musk in an attempt to force through his $44 billion deal to buy the social media giant. That's one of the breaking stories. Where are the others? Here's another one out of Sri Lanka. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has fled Sri Lanka. That's the breaking story. Sri Lanka's president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, has fled the country, the BBC has confirmed, following mass protests over the island's economic crisis. What's that quotation we wrote after having listened to Boris Johnson? He says, "As we have seen at Westminster, the herd instinct is powerful. And when the herd moves, it moves. And, my friends, in politics, no one is remotely indispensable." I'll repeat. Boris Johnson, who was just forced to shorten his time at 10 Downing Street, says, "As we have seen at Westminster, the herd instinct is powerful. And when the herd moves, it moves. And my friends, in politics, no one is remotely indispensable. In politics, no one is remotely indispensable." My late mother would say, "Take sleep, mark that." Let's pay attention. So those, let's see, just a couple of breaking news items just now, which we shared. Thank you very much. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And in 2005, on this day, Tropical Storm Emily was developing in Caribbean waters on this day in 2005. We'll leave it there for now and get ready for another break right here on your program, Both Sides of the Story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Chad Ad Distributors are the island-wide distributors of the popular Maxxis tires, plus Sumitomo, Falcon, and Solidil. For batteries, Mayatsu, AC Delco, and for lubricants, it's Petra Canada. Visit us at 87 to 91 First Street, Newport West. Telephone 901-6612 or 383-4363. Chad Ad Distributors Limited, your place to retire.
Gen Zers, we're back. Gen Z returns with a new look, fresh faces, hot topics, and a whole new vibe. We're talking finance, dating, dancehall. You think it? We discuss it. You don't want to miss it. So join us Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Power 106 FM and 6:30 p.m. on TVJ. Gen Z, a show for the youths, by the youths.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
So I believe that if we try our best, it will be a great success. So let us live in unity for progress and prosperity. Swing it, daddy.
Que hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5 heures moins 28. Tien sai, TDN le. Wu Dien Cha Ar Shur Ba Fen. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM, taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Let's see. Oh, look at this charming picture. Who's this now? This is June's family. June in Norway. They're having fun in Jamaica. My daughter, her husband, and children. Wish I was there, says June in Norway. So those are her children and grandchildren. Well, let's see. Her daughter, her husband, her daughter, and her son-in-law, and the children. Yes. All right. Thanks for sharing, Miss June. Thanks for sharing. Lovely family. Oops, look at all these messages. The moment we take our eyes off the WhatsApp messages, they pile up. This one says, surely Dervan, 50 years is more than enough time to set up a national ID card. Jamaica's had 60 years. It seems to have more to do with politics than identity mechanics. Well, if that's what the fellow was talking about, then he's right, and you would be right as well. I thought he meant in terms of just within this most recent iteration of establishing a national ID, that he was saying it was taking too long. But if you are in fact referring, or if he was in fact referring to the fact that governments from way back when, decades ago, had promised and planned to start a national identification system and have failed, then you would be right. And that wouldn't have anything to do with mechanics, but indeed politics. You are right, Jay Chisholm. You are correct. Ellerid says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I don't have a local bank account. I went to Scotiabank, a Scotiabank machine, to use my BMO card, and was surprised to see the fee of $770 plus GCT. I did not know one have to pay tax to withdraw money. Well, I would have exited that ATM and found some other way. Definitely would not be paying $770. No way. I'm not sure what you did. Let's see the rest of your message. Mr. Malcolm, Jamaica has a passport, TRN, and social number. Why they need another ID? Well, this is it. This ID is going to take care of all of those. Well, maybe not the passport, but TRN and the others. It will be one national ID card with all our data, relevant data. I am doing business in Canada from I give my social insurance number, SIN. They know everything about me. So why Jamaica needs 4 different ID? That's the point we're making, Ellerid. The plan is to go to one so that we have SIN like you. You get the point? Right. So that just as though you have that social insurance number, otherwise known as SIN for short, we will have a number, we will have a card, which will be the one and only. All right, let's move on. Gian in Chantilly, Portland. Good afternoon. How are you? Gloria, Miss Gloria, otherwise known as Moralist, says, "Good afternoon, Brother Dervan. I heard Miss Mervis this morning on Ralston Hyman's program. And now, Brother Webley, the four winds will have to blow for Christ to come. The locusts will have to do their work. Let us study more deeply. Not one of my words will return to void," Christ says. That's Miss Gloria, otherwise known as Moralist, sharing with us this afternoon. Thank you. And Eureka says, "Good afternoon, Dervan. Your recalling of history reminds me of my days spent in the country when I was growing up and the old people used to tell stories of the past. You're a valuable person to radio. You're very unique, and I'm sure I can say on behalf of all your listeners, you make a big difference in broadcasting. Big up yourself. You are a star. You're very kind, Eureka. You are the star. Thank you very much for listening." Let's go to the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112 to 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
This is Robinson from Bull Bay.
Welcome, Mr. Robinson from Bull Bay. How is everything?
Yes, everything. I call to about the electricity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from Sunday, Mr. Malcolm, it keep chipping out. Every now and then it just keeps chipping out. And when my brother hear the fridge just chip out and so forth, and it current go, and it just chip out and then it come back in just a minute after it chip out or something like that. Right? And some just I don't know, I'm just putting this out there to see if JPs can do anything about it, because before it mash up people things, because it keeps chipping out. I mean, not because of the strong breeze or what. I don't know.
What's the general area? Can you remind us of the general area?
9 Miles Bull Bay. I'm calling from 9 Miles Bull Bay, right. But I'm sure it is not here so alone. I'm sure it's not here alone, because it just keep just cut off and then it come back on again. 1 minute, one time it cut off and it go like for 2 minutes and then it come back again. And even just a little while when 4 o'clock come, that is the same thing. I mean, just keeps chipping out. I think JPs need to do something about it.
I've made a note of it. I'm going to share it with one of the representatives at the Jamaica Public Service Company.
Yes, sir.
But in the meantime, do you have surge protectors in place?
No, Mr. Malcolm, I know.
Okay.
Well,
because that
I have one of the long, I can't remember the socket them.
Mm-hmm.
The long one was, I think, them did say, somebody did tell me it's a surge protector. I don't know if it has 2 lights on it, green and red.
Oh.
So I don't know if I can't really tell if it is a surge protector.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like, say, like when
no, they have, I was thinking of the Jamaican-made ones. You know those? They have some Jamaican-made surge protectors. They're silver, metallic, and with the 2 sockets, and there are the light indicators.
No, well, the one have more than 2 sockets.
Right, so that's a regular what you call it. It's not necessarily a surge protector then, the one that you have.
No.
It's just a power strip. That's what you have then, a power strip.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know, because I don't want to go, because I listen to the radio, because I listen to the radio every minute, the radio just you understand.
There's a dip in the current.
Yes, that's a chip.
And that is dangerous, because it can mash up your equipment, can damage your equipment and appliances.
From Sunday, it happened.
Making a note of that.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry to hear
that. Malcolm, before we come off, I just want to just say, whenever I call, what I always talk about when I call and thing as a Christian, I just want to say to the nation, that is the nation. You see, the thing about that, I heard people keep talking about the young people and what they need. And they keep talking about opportunities and things, which I'm not saying yes. They don't need opportunities, so they don't need jobs and all those things. But you still have one and two who have job and thing and still have unscrupulous ways, right? And I just want to say, what our young people need, many of them need a Jesus in them soul, right? A Jesus in need in their soul, because when you have God living in your heart, then the Bible says, I will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee because he trusted in thee. So when God is living in your heart, then you wouldn't think of saying you're going to take up a gun and go kill nobody or whatsoever and think. So they need more than jobs and whatsoever and think, because what happened to when the job goes? What happened to when the opportunity goes? Right? God he causes us his people. He gets us used to hard life. Right? And never say, serve me, and life will be smooth for you. Right? I tell you, Mr. Malcolm, I am a blind man, right? And I think I share it and tell you I got blind. And if you remember what I said, right? I was working at a place called Citrat Plant at 11 miles Bulby, and I got burnt up by a caustic soda. And that is what claimed my sight, right? That is what claimed my sight and things. And I still, despite all of this, I still stand strong in the Lord, right? I still stand strong in the Lord and trust the Lord with my life, because what? Me know, so if me remain faithful as a child of God, then God has 2 new eyes for me and a new body. When no acid can't damage or can't hurt me or anything, right? And so I just want to say to the young people out there, you don't have to continue, you don't have to live the way that you don't have to live like a criminal. And because other people do it, you decide they must take up the same something. And it is true that you say, Mr. Malcolm, when you say hurt people, because I remember I listened to a story of a man who was giving his neighbors trouble, was giving a lot of trouble in America he lived, right? And it was takes the love of a couple, a Christian couple, to turn him around. And when them really find out what caused him to be the way he was, the man was a pastor, right, of a Baptist church in a same time. And the reason why he was like that is because he and his wife and his 2-month-old daughter was on his way to the country one holiday to look for families and friends. And a cow was stopped on the way, and the man swerved to avoid hitting into the cow and lick up in a tree. I lick up in the tree and said, instantly his wife and his 2-month-old daughter died.
Oh no.
Instantly, right? And because of that, he became angry with God. And so because him get miserable in his life, he was miserable, he at that time decided to make other people's life miserable. So it is true. The saying is true when they say hurt people, actually hurt people. I know a lot of them out there hurting. And that is why they're doing it. But I'm saying that there is a God. And if they turn to God, God is able to heal them from the earth, restore them, that they don't have to continue doing the things that they're doing. So I'm saying to you, young people, young and old, when you're looking at our prisons are full of people, full of young people and all them things, right? If you just turn to God from your ways, right? God is able to heal you. Jesus Christ love you. Jesus Christ love your young people, right? And he will forgive you. He died to save you from your sins. He will forgive you if you turn from him to him from your sins, right? He will forgive you and wipe your record clean. And it will not stand against you in the day of judgment. When God comes, if you continue in these ways, then you're going to pay for your sins. If you die in your sins, you're going to pay for it when the Lord comes. So I'm just, as I come off now, Mr. Malcolm, I just want to just encourage the young people out there, young men, young women, right? There is a God in heaven, and you need God, and you need God in your soul, right? Because if you don't want to have God, then on a life, on a life right in the right way, right?
Your message is clear. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, man. Thank you very much, Mr. Mark.
All the best.
So let us live in unity.
listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
13 minutes to 5 o'clock.
You are an exporter, helping to elevate the face of our international trade. But in order to do that, and all the other tasks on your list, you need someone that understands you. We know that finding adequate collateral as a SME can sometimes be challenging, which is why we've partnered with our friends at JMB to bring you the Exim Export Guarantee to give you that extra collateral support where you may need it. Call Exim Bank to find out more about the Exim Export Guarantee. Exim Bank. By helping businesses, we save lives and livelihood.
Gen Zers, we're back. Gen Z returns with a new look, fresh faces, hot topics, and a whole new vibe. We're talking finance, dating, dancehall. You think it? We discuss it. You don't want to miss it. So join us Saturdays at 10 a.m. on Power 106 FM and 6:30 p.m. on TVJ. Gen Z, a show for the youths, by the youths.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Pernell Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a Morning with the Minister, every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie.
Y ahora es en español, son las 5 menos 12, que le retilo en français, les 5 heures moins 12. 现在提点了5点加12分, 12 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans listening to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Let's take some more of your calls, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. Respect. Give thanks to life.
Well, give thanks. Thank you very much, Raskava. I thank you for sharing this report card because, first of all, I didn't know there was a school in Jamaica called Patricktown Primary and Infant School. First, I was learning about this school.
Well, that's how we learn, and before I touched on it, is that I noticed you couldn't manage the patois the other day. It's a good thing, so I can put it in a little English. But you learn to read patois, man.
Or was it reading your handwriting, so to speak?
No, but you see, I know script now.
I know, but it's still was a yes,
right, but
that's really it.
There are some people, so there's no H that start any word in patois. No. Tell me one word where you think H starts. Let me tell you how it's pronounced.
Well, we know that those of us when we're talking Jamaican, we drop the H.
Right. That's patois. Some people, the Creole that people are talking about now, then they mix it with the English, all that kind of stuff. But the raw band patois, not H starting the word. If you talk about your house, you say house.
Yes.
You talk about your home, you say home.
That's right.
You say how, you say oh.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but this virgin who just spoke a while ago, I don't think he has painted a good picture of God at all. Because why would God have a pair of eyes putting down someplace waiting on him to give it to him? When he could have saved the 2 eyes that he gave him at the first place and have him make 2 more. So, well, I mean, I know religion make people think some way, but live by your faith, my virgin. It might just join up with Miss Hope and Miss Grace and the three of them will help you. The festival songs.
Sorry, is this child a relative of yours?
The virgin son, man.
Oh.
He's a Rasta youth,
The youngster is a genius, man.
Me tell you that's why I want to touch it. I am saying a child like that, he has when him go to school, they want to put him in grade 3 as he entered. And after they put him in a grade 3, the parents, they were told that they had to put him in grade 5 because he's performing beyond and above grade 3. And he must say, no, you can't rush the child through school like that. Make him grow up amongst him youth, and when he go to primary school at grade 7 again, they want to put him in. At that time, he's just age 6 because they not make him go through based on his age, They make him go through the school based on his ability.
Yes.
So he must say that like a 6-year-old child to go and mix with grade 7 child. He's not gonna be. He might be at risk. They might do all kind of things for him and mob him, do all kind of things. So I said, no, don't do that. And stand up firmly, and they didn't do it. But the point I want to make is that when you see that child, such gifted child, he comes first in every one-eye class going right through till he left school. The government should really adopt a child like that and foster them, put them through school right through.
But I hope he's deserving of a scholarship. I hope he's getting a scholarship. This is scholarship quality.
Yeah, but the school and not say nothing about that. The teacher never call the child and congratulate him on his achievement. In talk to his mama and tell the mama to tell the youth. That's not good. You need to call the youth and let him feel proud of his achievement. Rather than Jabari, teacher said to congratulate you. Maybe born that. You know that. But you see, if a child like that, if the father is not in a position to finance him through high school and college, and he get caught up in the system, that child will be of danger to the country because of his ability and his head space. So if him go there in the criminal world, him are going to be the genius in the criminality. He will be able to hack every computer and everywhere.
Well,
so the government should prevent that child get swallowed up by the system and adapt it. And I don't know if you could do anything to let the Ministry of Education and the minister even look through that and think, so yes, it is true.
But they would have this data. In fact, the ministry itself has scholarships, for PEP students. The minute there's a Marcus Garvey scholarship, there's a this scholarship, that scholarship. So and it's usually for students with grades like we're seeing here now, just a shade shy of 100% average. This is incredible.
Well, that child is the 6th nationwide in the PEP exam, in the top grade, 6. Yeah. He's 96.
Yeah, he's deserving of a scholarship. And his parents haven't been actively pursuing, just following up to make sure everything is everything.
I advise the father and give him a little strength to do it, and he'll be going to the school to talk to
them
about it, because the school should even recommend that child to the ministry to be adopted.
But it should need to happen that way because, as I said, the ministry has the data. They have the information. They know what the averages are from 1 to 100, for argument's sake.
Yeah, but think it that there are so much of them that they might have to deceive him through and blah, 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 whatever, and then he might not get the attention. And the name alone, we make people never want to help the youth, because...
Why? What's wrong with his name?
Jabari. I only want to pick the name, sir.
No, sir.
Who is violent picking the name, sir?
No, sir. But if you put out a poll now and ask all the bald children to come, who go by the name Jabari, you'll have yes, man.
All right, if you say so, then that might be struck from the record. But what I'm saying, Brethren, is like, children like that in our country should be nurtured and cherished, and see that them go through and be of worth to the country in the future.
Which school did he choose? Did he in PEP?
Manchester High.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, we're gonna follow it up, but surely this performance must get that kind of national attention.
Thank you, sir. I know you would. And I touch the festival songs them again.
Yes.
You see, while we were listening to it, you see the accompanying singers. I don't know if I back up them or back up, but the accompanying singers. You are hearing them and the music above the performer's voice.
Oh.
So I'm saying the track that the accompanying singers were there was on and the band. That's where the singer should be. You can hardly hear it. Yeah, hear the music and the accompanying singer's voice stronger. And the one that's and the lack horns. You don't have festival song without horns. You know, I didn't hear no horn section. They might use a keyboard representing the horn section. Horn section have been not festival, and that at some point that meant a beat. That's the reflection of what festival used to be coming up from 62.
Maybe because of all that happened before, with not will we, won't we have a festival song, and with all of that, and now trying to rush it through towards this time now. Maybe they didn't.
You see, one of them, the promoter,
the producer
is from Fab 5, which are them at the festival band.
Yes.
So that's the excuse that they use Fab 5 to play for all the festival songs or the other songs, which have some very good band in Jamaica. We don't shout at that, but some of them are computer reading them are used and they're sitting there. So, have that essence of what we grew up to know about festival songs.
To be continued, Rascaba. We have to leave it there for the time being because we're
sir,
almost out of time. But thank you very much. Thanks for the information.
Thanks.
All right, take care. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 12th of July, 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock. Major News at 5 is brought to you by the Optical Zone.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.